You want to go in two directions at once? You'd have to split yourself in two to do that. Do you suffer from competing desires? I know I get caught in this trap easily. I have a lot of competing desires, actually, polar opposites, in fact. For example, I sometimes want to be a monk, just living a simple, reclusive lifestyle like I did once living in an ashram. And at the same time, there's a part of me that wants to be a successful businessman. And there's that urge and desire as well. So I want to have time for rest and balance, and I want to go all out and be productive. I want time and I want money. And I don't want to have to trade one for the other. So this is what I mean by competing desires. And I think it comes up for many of us and it shows up in different ways. So, how about you? Do you find yourself caught between opposing desires? If so, you're probably familiar with the mind's first attempt uh, to solve this problem, which is try to do them both. I've tried that many times, and sometimes it works, but many times it doesn't work at all. And it also complicates my life because my mind not only has to figure out how to do each thing, it has to figure out how to manage all the complications that arise, like when these two different things start interacting with each other and they have conflicts within those interactions. So it can easily lead to a lot of feeling of overwhelm when I'm just trying to do it all. It's the way I was when I was in school. One teacher gave me this homework, another teacher gave me this homework, another teacher gave me that homework. Three, four, five, six different teachers all giving different homework and thinking they're the only homework that's being given for some reason. And I would just think, oh, okay, I've got to do it all, and I'll stay up late if I have to. And yeah, it kind of worked, but it kind of didn't work as well. So this is where I was this morning, and so that is until I did the work. And if you're familiar with the work of Byron Katie, it's basically a way to write down the stressful thoughts you're carrying and then question them in a systematic way to look for new ways of seeing the same situation. So, how do you do this work on competing desires? Here's what I just did. I wrote a list of stressful thoughts free form just to get them out of my head and onto paper. It looked like this. My job is impossible. I want to do too many competing things. I want to do the work for 30 to 60 minutes every day. I want to keep writing my newsletter every week. I want to have time to create courses. I need to see more clients to keep cash flow going. I need time every day to keep up with administration. I want to be done early to have time for yoga. I want to have longer time available for meditation. I want more time for sleep. I need it all to balance perfectly. There are not enough hours to do it all. I don't want to drop anything. So just doing that feels good. Somehow getting the stressful thoughts out feels lighter. And that's one of my favorite things about the work is it's a safe place to just vent those stressful thoughts. So they still kind of feel impossible, I see them on paper now and they're not really they're not solved by any stretch of the imagination, but they're out. That I can see them. There's a little bit of distance on them now. And those thoughts are still competing with each other and all of that, but now they're not competing with each other in my head quite as much. And so I don't know how I'll work them, but it's easy to at least see them. So now I read the list a few times, looking for one statement to question this morning. And what I landed on is I need more clients to keep the cash flow going. That indeed has been a stressful thought for the past couple of months, ever since I realized that my cash flow was low. Working with clients is indeed a good solution to this problem, but it creates another problem. It means that time gets taken up by clients when a big part of my passion for facilitating the work lies in designing courses and sharing the work in other ways. So turning my thinking around is what I did as I went through this process of doing the work. It's not that my thinking was wrong. It is a good idea to keep time slots open for clients. That's not going to change. But as I looked at what was stressing me, I found that I was going too far in this direction. When I saw this, I cut back a few slots and made more room for other important jobs that I do. I could feel the relief as soon as I changed my calendar. I also saw that there could be other ways of keeping cash flow going during this phase of building my business. And I saw more clearly how much I love to create courses and programs and content to support people in doing the work. Working one on one is one way I do that, but other things I offer and plan to offer are as valuable, if not more so, to me. Courses and other content that I create are aimed at supporting people to become self sufficient in the work and to build an ongoing practice of it, not just do one session of the work here and there. Doing just this one piece of inquiry this morning recalibrated my outlook. I'm now acting more from a place of inner alignment rather than acting out of reaction and panic. So try it out. What are your conflicting desires? Write them all down, then try questioning one or two. And I've actually, since the time I wrote that article, I've questioned 4 or 5 of those, and the whole thing has changed. I don't feel that same feeling of conflict that I had when I started. The conflict is still there. There's a dynamic between these opposing desires, but the feeling is not one of stress now. It's one of just more ease. So, questioning desires loosens my attachment to them. And when I question conflicting desires, there's often less tug of war inside of me. Okay, so let's end with a reading from Byron Katie's book, A Thousand Names for Joy. The education you need is within you. How can what is already within be taught? It can only be realized. If you're willing to go inside and wait for the truth, your inborn wisdom meets the question, and the answer rings true as if it were a tuning fork inside of your own being.